Hello, my name is Jordan, and in this video I'm going to be ranking all of the Ticket to Ride maps. Now I'm only going to be including the original base games and the map expansions, so that leaves me with 12 maps. I don't have Germany, so I'm going to be leaving that one off the list. But without further ado, I'll start out with number 11, and that's going to be the Netherlands. Now this is my least favorite map that I own. It is $25 on Amazon right now, originally $30. It only comes with one side of the map. It has a special rule where you have to pay money for each route, and I tend to play with fewer players, and it didn't really have very much impact on the game. And additionally, the coins don't fit in the insert in the box, which annoys me. So overall, it's good to complete your collection, but not my favorite map. That's number 11. Number 10, and this one is surprising to me, is Africa. This is the first map expansion that I got, and I was initially very excited for it, but as it turns out, I don't like it that much because all of the routes are segmented by territory. So there's like the Sahara Desert is red, orange, yellow routes. The jungle is green, blue, and purple routes, and then mountain is black, white, and gray routes. And so a lot of the routes are also single routes. There's not very many doubles. And so what ends up happening is a lot of the time you'll need the same color to complete several of your routes and have almost no other options in order to take them. And I feel like the tickets kind of lean into this more so than preventing it. So I feel like this map has its issues, and it only comes with one side. So it's a decent map. Initially was very excited about it, but after playing it a number of times, I've been very frustrated by it. At number 9, we have the Japan and Italy map. Now this map is neat because it's larger than the average map. It is 4x2 squares as opposed to a normal map is 3x2. So it's 33% bigger. The Japan map is kind of neat because it has subsections where it's focused on the specific parts of the major cities. The main thing that annoys me about the Japan map is that you only get 20 trains for the game. So in my opinion, the game kind of ends before it starts. And the main focus of the map is this communal rail, which you get points from at the end of the game, but you don't get points for building the routes during the game, and I feel as though it's unbalanced, so it doesn't give as much points for the bonus as otherwise it would be worth doing those routes. And if someone doesn't complete the communal route and just ends the game because there's so few trains available, then you're screwed and the game isn't that enjoyable. The Italy side I do like better. It's pretty colorful, and it's got a neat zoning map where you have to connect all the different zones, but it's not too special and doesn't overcome the issues that I have with Japan. So that's number 9. Number 8 is the Nordic Countries. This is its own independent game for 2 to 3 players. It comes with purple, black, and white trains, which are mostly unique to this set, so I like that. It's the only way to get them. The cards that it comes with are also very colorful and good looking. It's a pretty decent map overall. The only reasons why I haven't ranked it higher is because it doesn't really have a very innovative new rule policy to it. The wilds can only be used in certain spots, and the fact that it's its own independent game that costs $45 on Amazon, but only can be played with 2 to 3 players, in my opinion, it's kind of not the best deal for the money. So that's the Nordic countries. At number 7, I have Asia, which is the first map expansion. This map is double-sided, but it's both sides are Asia. So there's Legendary Asia, which is a pretty traditional map, doesn't really have that much in terms of rule changes to it. And then the original regular Asia side is designed to be played with teams, and so it has specific rules on how it plays with the teams. It's not just two people sitting next to each other, working as one unit. So I think it's interesting, but I'm not particularly a fan of the way that the team's rules work, and so I more often play that side just as a normal map and ignore those rules. And so for that reason, I feel like this map could be a little bit better if it had a better mechanic for the teams. And so that's Asia. At number 6, I have Ticket to Ride France and the Old West. Now this map is larger than most. It is a square, a larger square, so it's 9 sub-squares, so it's bigger than most. And it has an interesting mechanic on the French side where you have to place your own tracks, and on the Old West side you give other people points for going into their cities and have to build all your routes based off of your original placement. So it's very different in that mechanic. And additionally, it comes with a 6th train set, so you can play with 6 players for the first time, which is nice. That would be my critique of this set, is that it is unique with those rule changes, but it kind of is leaning towards more players. So if you play it with 2 or 3 players, you won't really experience the differences in those rules. And for Old West, it really seems like it's its own boring game if you play with 2 players, because you don't really encounter the new rules at all. So great for more players, not so good for fewer players, but 2 solid maps. At number 5, and this one is a little bit controversial, I have the original Ticket to Ride America. And the reason being that I have it placed here is that it is the original game, it's its own complete set, it's a country that I'm familiar with and people that I play with are familiar with, so it has all those perks along with being a nice simple map to introduce people to. But it annoys me to no end that it comes with the small cards and you have to pay $20 to get the big cards, whereas Europe, which costs the same, comes with big cards. So why doesn't this one come with big cards? Additionally, I personally think that this map was a little bit too much simpleton for me. I like the complexities added in some of the other maps, and so for me, it's a little bit too basic. And lastly, the tickets are kind of wild, where you draw some initial tickets that aren't near each other, then that might screw you for the whole game. Or conversely, frequently I end up crossing the whole United States from east to west during the course of the game, and then just pile on tickets that are worth a ton of points that I only have to add a few trains to my current route to complete, and so it's kind of unfair in that regard. So Ticket to Ride Original is a good starting point, but it is not my favorite. At number 4, I have the India and Switzerland map. Now this is a double-sided map. It's the second map expansion, and Switzerland is for fewer players, and India is a solid map. Now I wouldn't say either of these maps blow the socks off me, but I think they're 2 solid maps. I enjoy playing them both, and the fact that it is $24 for 2 solid maps is enough to place it at number 4 in my opinion. So that is India and Switzerland. At number 3, I have the United Kingdom and Pennsylvania. Now this was the most hotly anticipated map set for me to get. I was the most excited to get this one, and in some ways I would say it definitely delivers on the prospects that I thought it had. The map on the UK side is very beautiful. It comes with its own deck of train cards, so those cards are very colorful and add to this as a set. It is a little bit cumbersome at times in the UK version because the added technology cards that it comes with do make the startup phase of the game drawn out, so you can't do several things until you've bought the associated technologies, so that can make the game kind of a drag. but I do like the technologies, the added complexity, and that side of the map is very fun. And then the Pennsylvania side is a big surprise to me. I was not at all thinking that it would be a fun map, but it's a solid map with stocks, and choosing which stocks to take to me is a lot more strategic than I initially would have thought, and I find it a lot more fun to play that side than I would have expected, so it's turned into one of my favorite maps, even though it's just one state. So this is the UK and Pennsylvania map. Pretty hard to find, actually. It's the only one not listed on Amazon for sale here, so I picked it up for around $50, but I'd say it's worth the cost, and if you can get it, I would recommend it. At number 2, we have Ticket to Ride Rails and Sails. Now, I got this on the day it came out. I was very excited about it, and if you don't know, it comes with a huge double-sided map of the whole world and the Great Lakes, and incorporates ships into the game, unlike any other map. So I think it is the most complicated and long form of the game, but as a big enthusiast of strategy games, I don't mind that, and I think it adds to the game, and I definitely enjoy playing this. It is the most expensive at $62, but for how much you get, I'd say it's worth the price, especially compared to some of the other smaller sets that are only $10 to $20 cheaper. So really fun set. I would definitely recommend that. And lastly, the number one game, in my opinion, is Ticket to Ride Europe. Now, I know this is one of the original 2 games that you can find everywhere, but I do think it's the best. I think the tickets with the long tickets make the game more balanced, and the fact that you can use train stations, some people dislike that because it makes it less cutthroat because you can go around people trying to cut you off. Others think that it makes the game simpler and more fun because you can't get screwed over in the game. But I think it's the map that I choose to show people when I'm introducing them to Ticket to Ride, because it's the most fun, and especially if you get the 1912 expansion, which adds new routes and alternative long routes. I definitely think that adds to the game and makes it playable over and over again. So that's my final ranking, Europe number 1. Thank you for watching. If you have any comments, let me know. Check out some of the other videos on my channel, and if they ever make more Ticket to Ride maps, I'll be back to give my thoughts on those as well. Have a good rest of your day.